out of Propco in the water as we see Patriot spin around and hit Offshore Addiction, and Patriot itself now begin to do a 360. We've got a major mishap here on the first turn here in the Factory 1 start. We'll tell you more about that occupant out of that Propco boat in a moment. Let's go on board now as it looks from the Patriot Racing Team. Going into that first turn. Propco on the right side. On board Patriot with Curtis Watkins and John Thames. In Propco, we've got David Carruth and Steve Wessinger. Let's listen. Major collision as Patriot spins around, but as you can see, Curtis Watkins and John Thames, they are okay, and they're trying to figure out what just happened. What happened was they got sighted by Propco, as one occupant in the Propco boat is out of the boat. Let's see that again. They go around the first turn one more time. Patriot going into Offshore Addiction, spins around, but they are okay. We understand that Angel 1 is en route to the scene. One occupant and Propco out of that boat. We'll give you an update in 1 minute. In the meantime, let's go with Flash Wave, a 29-foot Warlock. David Rem and Jim Scherer, driver and throttleman aboard this 29-foot Warlock Flash Wave. Look at checkered flag in Daytona. Now, David's father, Dwight Rem, is transporting the boat to 15 races this year. Beginning with the Pro Series in Daytona, the Flash Wave team, sponsored by CalDiet.com and Americash Home Loans, will be running all Pro Series and Pacific Offshore Series races this year. Flash Wave. David Rem, the driver, Jim Scherer, the throttleman. They're from California. Flash Wave. There's Wild Rose right ahead of Flash Wave. There's Activator coming up, that green boat on the outside. There's Activator on the outside. Activator, it's a 27-foot Activator with B.J. Marr, the driver, and Mark Schnepp, the throttleman. They are national champions in Factory 1. Activator. Mercury powered, 500 horsepower to inboard. B.J. Marr and Mark Schnepp aboard Activator, driver and throttleman. Mark from Coram, New York. B.J. from Pennsylvania. All right, let's go now with Factory 1's Velocity VR1, 28-foot Velocity Mercury-powered. Bob Spitulski is the driver. Steve Kildall, the Throttle Man. They're from Florida. Bob from Oviedo, Florida. Steve from Sarasota. By the way, Steve is the owner of Creek Marine in Sarasota, Florida. Also the owner of Scott Free Racing, which we're going to cover in a little while. By the way, we just got a report that Steve Wessinger from that Propco boat is being cared for. The Angel One rescue team with Jim Poplin arrived, and they are taking care of Steve, and we understand that he is going to be okay. Once again, Steve Wessinger from the Propco boat in that incident we saw a few moments ago is going to be all right. Now, the owner of Velocity VR1 is Scott McCormick. At this point, Velocity VR1 dominating the field here in Factory 1. 28-foot Velocity. Bob Spitulski and Steve Kildall on board. Driver and Throttle Man. Velocity Powerboats, by the way, is an official series sponsor. And the other Velocity, Team Velocity, and the P3 class with Pepper Ernest is also doing very well right now, as is Velocity VR1 here in Factory 1, dominating its class. This year. Crew members include Mike Gasparino and Pete Chesley. Also Thomas and Alicia Chesley. Offshore Addiction. Sponsors, Addictive Water Sports. We got ZEI, Mr. Maintenance, Midas from Rochester, New York, Kids Wish Network, South Bay Temps, and Accurate Auto Tint and Signs. Brian Hollis at the wheel. All right, back to a helicopter shot, PowerboatTours.com. Brian Hollis, Louise Whitmore, and Greg Sanders. Now, how sweet it is, apparently has barrel rolled. We're going to go to their onboard camera and see what that looked like. Onboard, how sweet it is. Let's see it now. Onboard, how sweet it is. Brent Leach and John Peterson. They did a full 360. Apparently they went into the turn a little too fast, and that's why it occurred. How sweet it is, 36-foot eliminated. Calm waters here in Marathon, Florida. But as they go into the turn, you will see them flip right over and come back up once again. Right side up. There they go, right over 360. The hatches open up, but they are okay, and they are fine. How sweet it is doing a 360 barrel roll, going a little too quickly into the turn. But everyone seems to be okay, and that is the important thing. Let's see that again in slow-mo. There we go, beginning to flip over. There you see. A 180 and then a full 360 as it is upright once again. Hatches open up, but no major problems. Super V light start. There's Pier 57 on the inside now coming into the picture. Fury and Extreme, and on the outside Lucas Oil, Pier 57 on the inside. And Solarize there in the mix as well. Pier 57. Some of the other competitors waiting. And we've got a green flag now in race number 2 here at the Marathon Offshore Grand Prix in Marathon, Florida. Race number 2, Pier 57 on the inside. And then coming into the picture now is the Rodriguez group in Factory 2. So it's Pier 57 and the Rodriguez group. Rodriguez group is a 36-foot cigarette. Utz Quality Foods on the outside. Utz Quality Foods and Rodriguez group. Utz Quality Foods, a 36-foot fountain. Rodriguez in Super V class is powered by two 500 horsepower Mercury inboards. Sergey Allegre is the driver. Michael Carsati is the throttle man. On board Rodriguez group, there's Utz Quality Foods with Mitch Miller and Matt Rice, 36-foot fountain. Utz Quality Foods on the outside. Battle here in the early moments of this race in the Super V class. Utz Quality Foods and Rodriguez group. They're battling even before the first turn. Rodriguez group with Sergey Allegre and Michael Carsati, driver and throttle man. Around the turn. Utz Quality Foods, 36-foot fountain with Mitch Miller and Matt Rice, Mercury powered, two 500 horsepower Mercury inboards. Mitch Miller from Cornelius, North Carolina, Matt from New Oxford, Pennsylvania. Special thanks to Utz Quality Foods, Mike and Jane Rice, for their support as well. This boat took a 4th place in Daytona earlier this year. For right now, it is number 1, Utz Quality Foods. Water's fairly flat here in Marathon for race number 2. All right, some more Super V Light competitors there on the inside is Vortec on the outside, Solarized. Vortec a 29-foot Extreme, Solarized a 30-foot Phantom. Solarized on the outside, Vortec on the inside. Vortec is Chevy powered. Gary DeSouza, the driver. Steve Miklos is the throttle man on the outside, Solarized. Mike Gordon, the driver. Bill Park, the throttle man, also Chevy powered. Battle here in Super V Light. There is Solarized with Mike Gordon and Bill Park. It's about a dead heat at this point right now. Gary DeSouza from Port Richey. Steve Miklos also from Port Richey, Florida. Vortec with a slight edge, but that's about all. Vortex took a first place in St. Cloud earlier this year and a second place in Daytona. Vortex around the turn, and Solarized on the outside, Vortex on the inside. They continue to be pretty much even. There you see the 7-mile bridge here in the background. Oh, on the turn here, we've got Solarized taking Vortex now. Solarized picking up the lead. Mike Gordon, the driver. Bill Park is the throttle man aboard Solarized. Now, Team Solarized, national champion of 2001, back with a vengeance this year. Team Solarized like to thank their sponsors who have made this all possible. First off, GM Vortex HP3 8100 for giving them the power and reliability to stay in front with the best. And a special thanks to Dave Sizlove with Aquatherm Industries, largest pool heating manufacturer in the world, for his continuing support. And a thanks to Eye Candy Customs for the new outrageous paint job. And thanks to Scott Thompson, crew chief, and Mike Regan, our crew member, for their hard work and dependability. Earlier this season, Harwich Concrete, Chris Wickstrom, the owner. Mercury powered, 2 500 horsepower inboards. Currently in first place in Factory 2, Harwich Concrete. Let's go on board with Marco Duggan and Chris Wickstrom. Other competitors in Factory 2, Let's Play Racing, Snap-on Talking Tools, Sonic Racing, Total Marine, R&S Offshore Racing, Herbert Racing, and Team Danzig. Drambuie, Spirit of Puerto Rico, WHM, DeSantis, Hidden Agenda, Virgin, Tommy Bahama, Media Master, Lady Sarah, just moments away from the green now in the Super Cat start. Media Master, Lady Sarah on the far outside. Picking up speed. We're almost there. And we've got a quick green flag now here in this race number 3 in this Marathon Offshore Grand Prix here in Marathon, Florida. And we've got Drambuie and Spirit of Puerto Rico, and there is Hidden Agenda being hosed down by DeSantis Chevrolet, and apparently Spirit of Puerto Rico has gone into the side of WHM Motorsports. A wild start here in race number 3, but we're leaders. The leaders are Drambuie, DeSantis Chevrolet, and Tommy Bahama. A lot of boats got sandwiched in at the start.